Hi, fellow classmates. My name is Oladiro Akinrodoye, otherwise known as Ola. This is an assignment on nonverbal communication. And as we rightly know, nonverbal communication has to do with non-spoken means of communication. It has to do with using our facial expression, our eyes, our hands, gestures, and body to communicate. In this assignment, we are looking at comparing the non-verbal gesture and artifact of both United States and Nigeria. That is what I'm going to be comparing, using as an examples, comparing that of Nigeria and United States. Now, for two examples of non-verbal gestures, one example is the posture tells the story. An instance I will give in that of the United States is commonly seen for supervisors and managers, those heading the affairs of any business or organization. A lot of times, they are the one involved in major activities. The bulk lies on their desk. They are being seen here and there in every organization, even up to the extent of attending to customers. And in most times, they are very, very active. But comparing that of the Nigerian boss or head of affairs, or simply put, supervisors, they on their parts are involved with lesser tasks. They are seen sitting in their office or their offices and doing lesser tasks. Most times, they delegate authorities. They simply just pass the job to their subordinates. They just sit, do nothing, and you know get just less. They are involved in less activities. Then the other point is the eyes that lies. An example I will give here in the United States, which is different from that of Nigeria, is it is a culture here in the United States that when you engage with someone in a communication, you are expected to look into the eyes of the person talking to you. You are expected to look into the eyes. But in Nigeria, it is different. In Nigeria, when you look into the eyes of someone, for example, if a younger person looks into the eyes of an older person, it is seen as a sign of disrespect. The culture simply says a younger person should not look into the eyes of the older person. So if you're seen in the course of talking, looking into the eyes of a person, you are seen as being disrespectful. That makes it different from that of the United States. Now, the other question is two examples of artifacts. Artifacts, as we already know, are means of communication that involves, like I can state four examples. It could be either historical and cultural, that involves work of arts, historic relics. Another is the media, which involves media like films and digital videos. Another is the data, and then the fourth one is knowledge. So artifacts can come in this form. To state two examples of artifacts and then comparing it to that of Nigeria, I mean United States with that of Nigeria, the Star Spangled Banner is number one. This is the national anthem of the United States, and it was written by Francis Scott Key in September 14th, 1814. Now, looking at that of the Nigeria is the Nigerian national anthem, otherwise known as the Arise, O Compatriots. This was written in 1978 by Ben Odiashe, who was then a band leader. The second artifact I'll mention is the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation in the United States was proclaimed by President Abraham Lincoln in 1st of January 1862. This was the proclamation that announces the freedom of the southern slaves. Then, then looking at that of Nigeria, Nigeria used to be a colony of the British, and Nigeria got its independence in October 1st of 1960. Now, going to the last question, which is about stating examples of one touch and a distance of both gesture and artifact. For gestures, an example of a touch will be the haptics. The haptics is like a means whereby when you touch an object, you can feel there's a kind of sensation that you feel that indicates the touch of that object. A very good example would be the mobile phone. When you touch the screen of a mobile phone, you can feel the effect. There's a sensation. It could be in form of vibration, or sometimes a kind of movement that you feel. Then for under the distance for gesture could be eye gaze. When you look at somebody from afar, the kind of mood or the situation the eye gaze is will determine, can be used as a means of communication. That's another good example. Then looking at the artifacts, an example of such artifacts is the television. Is a form of media of which, television itself is an event. It's an old invention, and also it tells historical history of events. Then other types of such artifacts could also be the the historic relics could be also be the artworks. They're also artifacts that you can touch. Then other artifacts under distance are the history. For example, just like as earlier mentioned, the Emancipation Proclamation. They're all not touchable, but they can. These are something they fall under the knowledge, because it is something you can't touch, but you have knowledge of it. Thank you.